Okay, found a top engine plate, a piece of the old governor throttle assembly linkage stuff that we're going to make a throttle rod out of. Let's see what else. Found a spark plug boot laying somewhere. I done lost it again. But we're going to go ahead and get this put on. Probably ought to run the kill wire out of here. Let's go ahead and do that. Kill wire needs to come up and go right through here. Through here. We'll hang that out the back. All right. That looks good. We're going to ground the kill switch right here. Got a few bolts. Doubt if we're going to have it running tonight. Might have to get it cranked up tomorrow when I get home. Let's see, we need a 10 millimeter. Got a 10 right here. Get them started first. I still need to go find a handle somewhere. I got another 2 motors right there. I'll just yank one off them, I guess. All right, we'll put another bolt. Let's see, right here. Down started. We need one more at the top. That's a goofy looking head. There we go. All right, snug this one down. We got all the starter bolts there. Yep. All right. Get that tight. This tight. All right. Let's set it right there. Let's go. We'll just throw that out of the way. Spark plug boot. What do I do with that? Got it right here. Slide that down. This just kind of threads in there. That feels good. All right. Now let's set this out of the way. Just a second. This is going to be the top plate we're going to use. All right. Let's go ahead and get the intake. Got a new gasket. Get the gasket slid on here without ripping it. There we go. Then we got the isolator piece, or whatever you want to call this thing. If I can remember how it goes on. There we go. That slides up like so. Your spark plug wire runs right through that. Your fuel line to go through there. We're just gonna put that right there out of the way. So let's grab our kit here. We need a carburetor and a what they call the stage 1 kit. This is a Go Power Sports carburetor. They send you extra gaskets. So anytime you're replacing one, you get gaskets. Set this box over here out of the way. You also, your carburetor will come with a new choke lever. And we can lay it right here and keep it from getting dirty. And this one actually has an adjustment. This is the GPS carburetor that you can find on their website. I'll leave y'all a link to it. But this one actually has a adjustment screw. A lot of carburetors that these engines come with and other motors, they're non-adjustable. This one you can actually adjust right here at the back, which I really like it. Still got your on and off for a fuel valve. We'll leave that on there. But since we got this off, we're going to take the stage 1 kit, which will contain new pretty sock, your adapter for your heavy breather, an extra set of gaskets. It will come with your jet that is enclosed. And this is going to be your heavy breather. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, it's a black one. Man. Not that it really matters, because I always like to put socks on them just for added insurance. But wow, that's cool. Black one. All right. We got this thing here. Let's go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and install the jet that they supply with it, because these are just a factory jet that's in them. My Lord. So we're going to take the the bowl off the bottom with a 10mm. And there's usually a gasket or an O-ring on this bolt, just like so. So make sure that doesn't get lost. I like to turn these a little bit just to kind of break the seal. Sometimes you can actually do it and leave the bowl on it just to get down to the emulsion tube. This one here, I'm going to take it out this way, just so I can see all the pretty parts. Now, I have a special screwdriver in here if I can find where I put it. Let's see, that's not it. Where is it? Where is that screwdriver? Dang it. I just put it right here. Here it is, right here. It's got a nice good straight edge on it, but I took and ground the sides of it down, because you don't want a real narrow, like small screwdriver to try and get in the jet. You want something that's got a good wide base so it fits in the jet real good, so it's good and wide. Because these are brass, you can actually strip these out pretty easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure my screwdriver's clean. Make sure it's seated in the jet. Ease it loose. Just like so. Sometimes you can give it a little tap. There's your jet right there. So we're going to take this one. Ooh, get back here. Put that right there. Take this one out of the bag. If I can get my fingers to work. There we go. Now take a new jet. Ain't that pretty? Same thing. Make sure our emulsion tube, show you what the emulsion tube is if it wants to come out. It might not want to come out. Sometimes you can get right on the inside of here and pry down on it. There's this is your emulsion tube. People call it emulsion tube or an E-tube. So whenever you change it out, make sure you're moving your carburetor around. Make sure you don't drop your emulsion tube out. Put that back in. We take the stage 1 jet. I just hold it upside down, let it seat in there where it's level. Make sure my screwdriver's seated into it real good. And you don't get crazy with them when you're putting the jet back in it. You want it just nicely snug. Whenever you feel your screwdriver stop, just give it added a little snugness, and that's all you need. Screwdriver ain't in there. Really? There it is. Well, I thought it was. I guess we're not going to be able to use that screwdriver. I guess we're going to have to use a little narrower one. Right there. That's all you need. Now, same thing. And whenever you're putting your bowl back on, look in relation to where your carburetor's at as to where you want your drain. If you want to like drain your engine for, let's say the wintertime you're not going to use it, or if you get trash in it, you want to be able to access the bowl. So if you have it facing this way, your air cleaner and everything will be in the way. Or if you have it facing the back of the motor, you're not going to be able to access your bowl drain that's located on the side. So I usually just rotate it around the side in between the back plate and the front plate. That's usually a good spot if you got it on the engine to be able to access it. So we'll put that right there. Take our bowl nut, stick the bowl nut back on. And same thing, you're screwing this nut into aluminum housing, so you don't have to get real crazy with it. Get it down where it's snug and just give it a little and that's plenty good. That's all you need to do on that. So now we're going to take the gaskets that are supplied in your kit, and we're going to be using this back one. If I can remember how it goes, and that's backwards. Slide your back gasket on, just like so. Now we're going to insert the carburetor, just like so, and you'll use your piece right here. This engine didn't have one, but if you take yours apart to pull your carburetor off, yours should come with this sealed spacer. Yeah, it's got rubber around it to seal the carburetor from dust getting in it. But you always want to make sure when you put this on, you can put it on backwards, because it'll go on just like so, and then obviously nothing's going to work. Your choke is going to hit up here, and your carburetor is not going to be able to vent through the vent hole, which is cut out in this little recessed notch right here. So make sure that recessed notch is always up. We'll put these extra gaskets over here to the side. We'll put this stock jet back in the package if I don't drop it, and we'll just label this stock jet. Sit that right there. We'll set this to the side. Now we'll go ahead and put the choke lever on that, and then your stage 1 kit will come with your heavy breather adapter to install the heavy breather, just like so. Look at that, pretty. All right, in the bag that you get with it is going to be your bolt and your lever hold down for your choke plate. And what this does is basically you're going to bolt this to the back of your breather, and this is also going to reach up here to hold your choke lever from moving around, bouncing off. So what I like to do is get this bolt started. I'll lay it down here and get it started first. And this bolt is a the head is an 8mm, I do believe. Let's see, is it 8mm? Yes, it's 8mm. All right, I'll get this snugged down where I can still move the arm a little bit. Make sure my gasket's in place, got my choke lever on. You can just roll this up, slide it on, and I need to go find a couple 10mm bolts. But just roll this down, and once you got it down, you can get from the back side with your 8mm wrench. Hold a little pressure on the tab right here on the top, and we're going to tighten the nut up. Just like so. I need to go get a couple tins to put on that. Actually, we'll use these tins that are right here. So it's really not much to do in a stage 1 kit. It's pretty easy. You just basically remove your carburetor, or you don't really necessarily have to remove your carburetor if you have access where you can get to the bowl and get you a short stubby screwdriver to get the main jet out after you turn your fuel off, drain the bowl. You can also do it that way. But I'm obviously building the engine, so I have it laying here, which makes it extremely easy for me to do. When I'm tightening these down, I just run them down and get them snug on both sides, so it evenly tightens the carburetor and seals all your gaskets good. All right, we're going to spin it around here and double tighten this nut down. Let's go ahead and put the sock, put this back in here, and whenever we get to that part, we can put that on there. We get to the nut right here on the back. Make sure it's tight. Can't see it. There we go. All right. Not too bad. All right, we got the top plate. What I'm gonna do is, this is one I had laying around. So let's get this down here. That'll hold the spark plug up. So I'm gonna use this for my throttle control plate. And since we've already bypassed the governor, all the leftover linkage I normally take off with your spring and your throttle rod, I usually keep these so I can bend my own rod. And basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use the factory plate and return spring. I'll run my cable down here through this way, I do believe, from my cable, tying to this outlet right here for my cable. But what I'm going to do is, when you flip these up on the bottom side, this hole right here, I'll put a rod right here like so. Then I'm going to measure it down, which it can take just a little bit of finesse once you got this bolted onto place. And then I'm going to bend a rod that goes right into the factory throttle rod hole. Goes right inside here. So basically I'm going to make my own rod that's going to go in place right here, put a little bend in it. So we'll find some cutters. I'm going to go ahead and get the rod marked with the Sharpie marker, put a bend in it, and see if we can get this part bolted on. Hey folks, welcome back. Let me show you what I got done with the motor last night. battery went dead, and I had a few more things that I wanted to put on it, but I went ahead and got the gas tank put on. So now we need to put some exhaust on it. Already got oil in it, and we're gonna put it on the cart and crank it up and see how she jives. Go ahead and let the cam and everything break in. Get my tachometer put on there, and we'll give it about a good 20-minute run time and let it break in. See how it runs. But let's take a look at it. Like I said, camera went dead last night, so I went ahead and put the Tilson tank on it that I had left over from the last Rascal project. Already do have oil in it, and usually what I do is I'll anyone like this, I'll oil stuff and lube it when I put it together, but I usually pull the plug out and give her several good yank throughs for, you know, a good 30 seconds or so, good 20 something pulls. That way it kind of pre-lubes the motor. That way whatever I didn't oil or didn't put a 105 on will get oil slung on it. So got that done. Got the plug put back in it, got gas in it. So got my gasket here for the exhaust, my nuts and bolts. I'm sorry, lock nuts and lock washers, or washers. We'll see what I got. I'll spit it out here in a second. I got the nuts and lock washers, new gasket. So let me go get the header. Go Power Sports supplied a header with this, and at lunchtime I went ahead and painted it. So we'll grab that and a few wrenches, and let's get it bolted on. Grab my tachometer and a screwdriver to adjust the carb, and let's see if we'll fire it up. All right, I went ahead and just threw a little paint on this, because when they send them to you, they're all bare metal, and this is some high temp header paint. Look at that big old run in it. Whatever. All right, let's throw the gasket on it. See how this is gonna jive. Look at that. That'll work pretty good. Put a lock washer here, and a nut, another lock washer. Thread on there, rascal. There you go. I just kind of snug these down evenly so the gasket seats real good and flush. Get a little bit on this back side. And usually after I run the motor, I'll go through, check for nuts and bolts and all that stuff, and I'll go over these one more time before I really send it out the door. All right, that looks good. Like I said, I already got oil in it, threw a little gasoline in it, got the oil and the motor lubed up. We'll put the air cleaner and everything on it later. So let's grab a small screwdriver. We'll have to drive a 1/2 inch, get my tachometer out. Put that in my pocket. All right, well, let's slap this jewel on the cart. I'm gonna go ahead and put the clutch and everything on, hook the throttle cable. I'm gonna do all that stuff first. I wanna get the motor mounted on here with no clutch, nothing in the way. That way if I do have an issue with it, I ain't gotta do all that work of taking it back apart or taking everything off. I also have a tack wire that I need to hook up later. But first I just wanna bolt it on and hear it run. Because like I said, this motor was on a bike that I got that was missing a bunch of pieces, so we're gonna see how it jives. Everything looked pretty good on the inside, so hopefully we keep our fingers crossed, it might just jive. All right, get up here. We're probably just gonna throw a couple bolts in it, get them snug. I'm gonna put one back here at the back with the flat washer and lock washer. And we'll put another one at the front and just tighten them up for now. Like I said, we're just gonna bolt it down just to hear it run. That way I ain't gotta chase this thing all over the floor while it's running. All right. This poor thing ain't had an engine on it and I don't know how long. All right, get my 1/2 inch underneath here, maybe. A little more. That'll work. Let's tighten up this back one. All right, we'll just slide this stuff right here out of the way. Got my screwdriver, because I know I'll probably need to adjust it. And my handy dandy tachometer, so we can set the RPM to, usually the cam specs and stuff like that, everybody says crank your idle up when you crank one up to break everything in, like 2 grand for 20 minutes. But I usually let one go through several heat cycles. And the last time I'll get the oil good and hot on the last heat cycle and then drain it. So let's see, let's go ahead and turn the gas on, let the bowl fill up, give it a little choke, make sure our choke's closing all the way. That looks good. Throttle's good. She's on. All right, give me a screwdriver. All right, let's crank it. We choked, we're choked. All right. Oh. For a junk motor that I know nothing about. Cool. All right, I got it cranked up about, get away from it where you can hear me. I got it cranked up about 2,200 RPM, somewhere along in there. I'm gonna give it about a good 20, 25 minutes. And yeah, sounds good. Cool. Yeah, let her break in, get it out of the shop where I ain't gotta listen to it, it's kind of noisy. Give it about a good 25 minutes and then put the air cleaner on it and we'll throw the chain on it, clutch. Take it for a rip. Yeah.